You know, many times when you see a top earner, a $1 million earner in sales, or a top executive, or a top CEO, you say, oh my God, they're winning because of personality, because they're gifted, they're this. I will tell you, they may have big personality, some of them. They may be good schmoozers, some of them. They may be brilliant, some of them. They may have a big degree, some of them. But almost all of them who continuously grow are experts at always calling to action. Meaning, the definition of call to action is to create a behavior that generates an immediate response to take action. Today, I'm going to unpack the topic of call to action, not just in business, but in personal growth, finance, family, and health. So let's start off with business before we get into the other topics. So in the area of business, you have a lot of different things that you do within business. Let's start off with sales. So in selling, I've seen so many people that do a great job presenting their product, right? Here's my product. Here's a real estate portfolio. Here's a loan. Here's the insurance policy. Here's the stock. Here's the mutual. Here's the money under management portfolio that I have. But when it comes down to call to action, they don't know what to put to call to action. For example, when I come to your place, hey, John, if I'm able to do X, Y, Z, and if I have a plan that makes sense to you and you're comfortable with it, both you and your wife, are you willing to share your documents, your statements with me so I can go back and take a look at this? And if it makes sense, are you ready to move forward? Yes. Okay, call to action, get your statements ready prior to me coming to you. Loan. So Mary, Bob, look, if I can get a loan that makes sense for you, are you in a position right now to run your credit today so we can get this process started? Well, no, not ready. Well, yes, we are. Okay, perfect. Then if you are, here's the next step. Call to action. Get this ready because we're about to run your credit. Okay, hey, if we're sitting here and we're looking at this digital marketing and I show you a way that I can get you the kind of traffic that you want, call to action will be, I will need to log on and get the data on your analytics of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, website. Are you open to share that data with me? Yes, but everything is call to action, right? So say you sold a client, okay? So now you sold a real estate property to a client and you meet with the client, you sold them. What's the next call to action? The next call to action is you go to their house, you bring them a gift, and now you ask them, are you happy with the way your business was with me? Yes, the next call to action is what? If you are happy, you've asked this question multiple times, well, how about referrals? Then you go into referrals. But the call to action is, now it's about referrals. Then you get the referrals. Then you say, would you mind dropping a call to them or an email or a text and letting them know that I'm going to call them so they're not surprised when I call you? That's another call to action. Great. Then you call the referrals. Everything becomes a call to action when it comes down to the area of sales, follow-up, referrals. It's always a call to action. By the way, in marketing, click, website. Hey, behavior, I like it. Click over here. There's so many things on a website where wording, we always have to improve these things where it's easier to find a sale. For longest time for us, most people had no clue we had a sales course or even a course period because our call to action wasn't the best. So we had to figure out a way to get better at it where the audience could find it. But when it comes down to a website call to action, when it comes down to someone visits your website, they have a question, is there a chat box? When it comes down to someone, anything has to be what a call to action. Buying a book, buying a product, an event, everything is a CTA. Recruiting. If you want to recruit somebody, you sit there and say, oh my gosh, we don't have somebody in HR. We don't have somebody in operations. We don't have somebody in, sales. We don't have somebody in, processing. We need somebody in, whatever it may be. Okay, what staffing agency are we working with right now? None. I need 3 options by the end of the day. Call to action at the end of the meeting. I need 3 recruiting staffing agency options. Okay, great. We're trying to recruit a COO, which means they're going to take 20% the salary year one. So on $200,000 salary is $40,000. I need 3 big recruiting agencies to talk to them and see what kind of a pool of talent do they have. Oh, okay, great. So here's what we need to do. Then you meet with the recruiting agency and you're, sizing them up. Then you're saying, well, look, what I'd like to do is call to action before we decide to agree with you and give you this 20% and sign with you instead of XYZ. We would like to get a reference of another CEO that worked in my field that has had a great experience with you. Do you have 3 references? Yes, sure. That's a call to action. Everything is a call to action. Our culture isn't the best, let's just say. And you want to improve the culture in your office, in your company, in your business, in a department. Sometimes a company, you may have, 150 offices we have. Not all the offices have the best culture. Sometimes you have to figure out why the culture in an office isn't as good as the other. Sometimes it's department. Sometimes it's a section of the office. Sometimes it's a, regional side. And you have to go in and figure out a way to improve that culture. what do you do that? What is the recommendation? So everything there then becomes culture. Another one is, when it comes down to leadership development, what is leadership development? So let's just say you have a meeting with one of your guys, employees, executive, CEO, a director, a customer service rep, and you want to help them improve. So they come in. So, I was listening to the recording the other day on the way you were speaking to the customer. It was a little bit rude. Here, let's listen to it together. And it's been reported to me that this is what happened. And I listened to it. And quite frankly, I don't know if you were having a bad day, if you were upset. What happened that day? Can you tell us? Well, I got to tell you, I'm going through some things. Okay, great. Here's what I want you to know. We all are going through some things. So let's just say you do that and you say, are you going to get better? I am. They leave. There is no call to action. It's not, are you going to get better? I am. They leave. No. You know what, Mary? Here's what I want to see. You know what, Bobby? Here's what I want to see. How committed are you to improving? I am. I have a book I want you to read. I have a video I want you to watch. I have an article I want you to read. And I want you to write a paper on it and send me exactly what you got out of it. And why is that? It's a call to action to hold the person accountable for an area they need to improve. So that's business. By the way, this is so wide that we can spend a lot of time unpacking areas in business that you can have a call to action for. Next one is personal growth. You realize you are not the best salesperson. Say, oh my gosh, I'm just not good in sales. I can't close. My closing ratio is 5%. I'm terrible. Everybody in the office at 20, 30%. I'm 5%. Why am I so bad? Go get them. Motivation. That's not how it works. What are you going to do? You're going to go on Amazon and buy every book on the topic of sales and negotiation with over 300 reviews? To go do that. That's what I did. If I wanted to get better at leadership, I'd go on Amazon. I had a rule. Every book with over 400 reviews on the topic of leadership, how to lead, leadership development, I bought them all. If it's 4-star plus, I bought all the books. So you would come to my office, you'd see 30 books on leadership. People are like, what the hell is this guy doing? I would say, I'm going to work on leadership. And I would read these books and I would become a better leader because my call to action was, do you really want to improve? Yes. Well, then what's your call to action? Order any books with 400 reviews or more and study every single topic until you become a better leader. Oh, got it. You want to become a better, whatever, designer. You want to become a better anything. What is your call to action to improve in that area? Personal growth. Okay, all of it has to do with this. I don't have the right contacts. I would like to get connected with better people. Call to action. Who's a list of people you want to get connected with? Here's the 7 names. How do you want to get closer to them? It's a call to action for you to, take that action to go out there and eventually get in contact with those folks. Finances. You're not happy with where your finances are. Do you have a philosophy? What is a philosophy? Do you have a financial philosophy? I don't understand what that even means, Pat. Do you have a way to eventually have more money in the bank and to have more money invested to increase your net worth? Do you have one? I have no philosophy. But Pat, I don't make that much money. It doesn't have anything to do with you making a lot of money. Do you know the average person that has $1 million what their average salary is? The average person that has $1 million to themselves, you know what their average salary is? $78,000. It's $78,000, Pat. Yes, because this is $78,000, but over a 30-year period, they learn how to set aside $500 a month. They learned how to set aside $600 a month. They were disciplined in areas. They didn't splurge and buy stuff they couldn't afford. They didn't try to compete or compare with their family and friends or sister or brother and siblings. The point is they had a philosophy. When it comes down to finance, do you have a philosophy? So if you said, Pat, I have no philosophy with money, what's your call to action? What book are you going to read? Who are you going to study? What topics are you going to go research to eventually say, this is my philosophy? When it comes down to interview an advisor, you sit down with somebody from Morgan, Merrill, Schwab, whoever it may be. What is your call to action to them? What are you going to tell them to say, hey, maybe you're not the advisor for me. What assignment are you giving them to come back to you? Hey, can I talk to 3 of your clients that are in a similar situation like myself so I can learn about what they've done? Can you send me some ideas that you think would be suitable for what my goals and dreams are in my life? What is the ideal relationship when you have a client like myself? I'm pretty demanding. What's your expectation? You talk about that and they come back and give you, here's what it is. But there's always a call to action. When we go to family, marriage. Hey, prior to getting married, hey, I love you. I love you too. Awesome. I think it's time we get married. Okay. Listen, I think it's time we have kids. Awesome. 11 years later, I don't even know why I married you. What do you mean? I don't know why I married you. What kind of a thing is that to say? I didn't know it was going to be like this. Why are you saying that to me now? Well, we never talked about it before. Well, that's your fault. So prior to getting married or having a relationship or even taking a relationship to the next level or having a kid, study, read about it. Are we ready to have a kid? Are we ready to buy a house? Are we ready to move out? Are we ready to get our own place? Are we ready to, everything is about a call to action to improve in that area with your family. When it comes down to your kids, you notice one of your kids has got a stutter problem. Okay, and he gets bullied. He's afraid of talking. What do you do about it? What is your call to action? Do you find somebody to help him out, or do you leave him alone? You notice one of your kids is a little bit built more than others and he loves sports. What's your call to action? Do you try to find out if he likes any kind of sports and put him in an environment and get him a coach? What's your call to action? You notice one of your kids, reading is not coming that early. What do? Do you put a lot of pressure, or do you find different kind of ways for this person to learn, because everybody learns in a different way? Do you find it with a game? Do you bring a teacher that matches her personality or his personality? What is your call to action? Everything with family is also a call to action. When it comes down to your parents, my parents, your grandparents, what's the call to action? Dad, you keep saying you got a pain with your knee. When's the last time you saw the doctor? Oh, no, nope, we're not doing this. Listen, I'm just telling you, you ain't seen the grandkids until you go see your doctor to see your knees. What? You got to see your knee, man. Every time I see you, it feels bad for me. I want to find out what's going on. I'll take you. Whatever. Can I get your doctor? Call to action. All right, next Tuesday, doctor's appointment. Everything is called to action when it comes down to your parents, because sometimes elderly parents are like, oh, it's nothing. Oh, don't worry about it. And you see your mom going like this or your dad going like this all the time. Well, this is a sign right here. You know what sign this is, right? What's going on over here? You see them going like this, or they're going like this, intestines, or they're going like this. You know, there's a lot of different things. You got to watch your family. So what's the call to action? You don't just say, you okay? I'm good. Okay. I hope you get better. That's weak. That's like a salesperson saying, you want the product? No, let me think about it. Okay, cool. No, it's call to action, even with family. Last one I'll give you. I'm hoping you're getting the idea of call to action. Everything is call to action, right? By the way, we had a person that came over here the other day to get licensed to carry at our office. Why? Well, we had some weird people that showed up to our office. And then one of our employees, you know, this person's like, hey, what about we get people to get licensed to carry? Great. And then, hey, election's coming up. It's a little weird. Oh, my gosh, October's going to be weird. Well, what are you doing about it? Well, let me get some people to protect themselves, so at least we have them the option. Okay, great, license to carry. Why? It's a weird time. Riots, protesting, people are uncomfortable. So if they're asking me, I provide the opportunity. Hey, we would love to find a way to exercise at the home office. What's the call to action? Let's put a gym. Let's bring a yoga instructor. Every single week, we do yoga here, just so you know. Every week, we have an instructor that comes in, and they do yoga, people that want to do yoga. What is the call to action in every area of your life? Last one is health. You're not happy with your energy. You're not happy with your skin. You're not happy with your weight. A couple of years ago, I reached 260 pounds, 257 pounds. I couldn't stand being 257 pounds. I was lethargic. I was coming out of bed, and I'm like, what are you doing about this? You know, your knees are hurting, your weight is a little bit more. You got to figure something out about this. What was it? Cut bread, cut soda, cut this. It's your diet. You ain't training like the way you used to. Then I went to the doctor. What's going on with my levels? What am I doing with this? What's my triglycerides? Where am I with this part? Okay, great. That's good to go. So I'm in a very high pressure type of a situation. Why don't you do some executive health physicals per year? They're a couple $1,000s. But if you're making $250,000, you can afford to pay $3,000, $4,000 to do every other year a big physical testing at a UCLA or you at a real nice place. Everything is call to action. Every single thing you're looking at is call to action. But the mindset of a call to action person is the following. So you notice, like right now, you're watching this video. Did you get a lot out of this video? Yes? Let's just say you got a lot out of this video. I want you to click on that subscribe button. If I gave you value, in return, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified, click on the alert button. That's call to action. See how this works out? I just did a call to action to you, but you don't mind doing a call to action because the exchange was a fair exchange. I give you value, you subscribe. Does this make sense? Hey, if I'm doing a call to action, you know, if I'm going to be like a guy the other day is asking me, this guy for 15 years, he always asks me for a favor. Oh, I've not asked this guy for any favor. Out of nowhere, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you do this for me? I'm like, a better approach would be, hey, how can I help you? I know this came out. Can I help you market this? Then in return, can you do this for me? But most people don't understand this concept of call to action. But I tell you, $1 million earners, they fully understand call to action. Executives who eventually get an equity in a company, they fully understand the concept of call to action. CEOs who eventually get an exit, they fully understand the concept of call to action. Everything in life is about call to action. So if you watch this video, and this video was valuable to you, you want to get your mindset a little bit deeper. I did a video, I think, 4 years ago, titled 11 Skills Millionaires Master. The video has got a few million views. If you've never watched it, click over here to watch this. Again, another call to action. And you already subscribed because I'll ask you to. With that being said, I hope this video helped you look at call to action in a complete different way for the rest of your life. So whatever you do today, when the meeting ends, remember, I got to give a call to action. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.